get in.
The show can't start until we crack open a bottle of Revelton. Whether it's their crisp, clean vodka, the bold spice of their rye whiskey, the rich smoothness of bourbon, or the original honey whiskey that started it all, every pour is a taste of craft and passion straight from the heart of Iowa. So pour yourself a drink, settle in, and get ready to relax, laugh, and enjoy the show.
Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media, and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
Would you like to sample some of my nuts?
You can lift your weights, you can run your miles, but you ain't got what's been earned through trials. It ain't in the gym, ain't in the youth, it's in busted knuckles and hard-lived truth. Back's been sore since 99, but I still stack wood and I still outgrind. Call me slow, call me old, but I got hands that could bend pure gold. Ain't about muscle, ain't about speed, it's about the fire when the time calls to lead. You can talk real tough, you can flex real wide, but when it's time to dig in, boys, step aside. Old man strength, built to last, years of work, no need for class. Ain't no quit, ain't no doubt, you don't know tough till you've been worn out.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Old Man Strength brought to you by Three Beards Media, broadcast from the AKC Andrew Downs Marketing Studios, and sponsored by Revelton Distilling Company, styled by JJ Boutique and Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage. Keith, it's been a long time since I've done that intro. I screwed it up already. So
hey, I love the drop the ice cube one though. That's an added touch. I like.
Yeah,
that.
dude, my wife was pissed because she came home and there was like sticky whiskey all over the table. I did 3 or 4 takes of that thing.
You know that is a
Why is
penalty
the table
shot. When you spill an alcoholic drink, that's a penalty shot. And
I
I'll
know.
send you the rules for penalty shots, but right now you owe me a shot of tequila.
Fair enough. Oh, no, I don't do tequila. That's I've got a bad.
That's why it's a penalty
story.
shot.
That seems a bad idea. So, but here we are again. Super appreciative, Keith, for you to hop on. I always love to have you on as my second co-host. I should probably just get you a camera, right? You were saying beforehand you just need a new camera.
I love filling in, getting to talk football with different guys and different people and different sports and different genre of everything. So it's sports and everything about it is kind of a passion of mine. So whenever I can fill in, I love doing it. So I appreciate you letting me out.
No problem. So super excited for tonight's guest. Ran across his Twitter account when they announced his hiring. I full disclosure, used to go to quite a bit of Iowa Barnstormer games when they were back when they first started and things like that. But for whatever reason, I can't seem to find a reason to go. But I feel like now I'm going to be compelled to go. So.
Yeah.
But I am really excited to bring on Coach Andre Coles. Andre, appreciate you hopping into Old Man Strength. Thanks for hopping on, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So let's kind of get started here. We normally here at Old Man Strength, that this podcast started with me and a previous host. We would begin to talk about our dads and how we grew up. And so when we started interviewing people, we thought, well, that's a good segue to start. So why don't you tell us a little bit about where you grew up and what you're about?
So born and raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So makes me an Eagles fan by nature.
I got to hang up already, man. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I know that's some interesting things. But born and raised in Philadelphia, single parent household. And I think when I was, 6 years old, I kind of asked my mom, how do people get out of this neighborhood? How do they make it? And she kind of was like, well, you either, focus on school and pick up a football. So football, I was already drawn to it, just growing up, kind of watching Randall Cunningham and, always wanted to be a quarterback and kind of just locked in on that. Played football at Abraham Lincoln High School, played 3 sports there. and then played a Division II program at Kutztown University, football and basketball there in college, and got my degree in speech communication. I kind of knew early on that coaching was what I wanted to do. I was fortunate enough to have some guys in high school and through youth programs kind of, show me the tracks and kind of show me the right way. So I kind of knew that I wanted to give that back and be that, same kind of guy. So Philadelphia born and raised, got a heart for just helping kids do better and helping them, change their circumstances. And, since that's where I come from. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Kutztown, Division II, you said, right? That's part of the Pennsylvania group, the Indiana, Pennsylvania,
yep.
and like maybe Edinburgh, Shippensburg, some of those schools?
Edinburgh, Shippensburg, Bloomsburg, Westchester. Yeah. Kutztown's pretty good right now at the number 1 in the first regional rankings that came out. I think they're number 3 or 4 in the country. So always a top program in football. So
home of Andre Reed. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. Thank you.
Yep.
There we go.
That's the stadium, Andre Reed Stadium. So I think the top 2 guys that come out of there, Andre Reed, John Mobley, played for the Broncos, and then the Lions.
Bob Plata.
Yep. And
you know who Bob Plata is?
Yeah.
I worked with Bob Plata for several years, but when he lives in York, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, not too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. Not too far. And then the Lions have a kid now, Craig Reynolds. I think he's like their RB3 right now. Is a Kutztown guy, so they're doing pretty well. That's
fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? If you're good enough, the NFL finds you.
They'll find you, especially
now.
Where you're at. Yeah, especially now. It's so easy now, just because social media. Yeah. Scouts can just hop on Twitter and they can find out what kind of kids you are by what you're liking and what you're reposting and highlights and all that kind of stuff. Before you guys know, you had to hop on 30, 40 flights to go see a kid, and now you can just hop online. So
right. Yeah, you guys had a little success with Barnstormers. The guy might have, Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He did okay. Right?
I think he's doing okay for himself.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's not doing too bad.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like I said, they find you everywhere. I mean,
yep.
Who knows?
100%.
I mean, kids got the passion, kids got the will to learn, the kids got the will to go above and beyond and do everything he needs to do. He might hook on,
And I think that's what indoor football and what our league is about. It's about those kids that may have fallen through the cracks or just overlooked or, whatever the circumstance is. It just gives them another opportunity to get some real game film, still develop at a pro level. And you just never know who's watching, especially now with the UFL and the CFL picking up steam. In the last 4 years that I've been in the IFL, we've helped move up, 20 plus athletes, whether that's up to Canada or the UFL. So there really is a platform now for guys to kind of get to that next level. The New York Jets this year signed an O-lineman that I coached 2 years ago. Was a Division I kid at the University of Hawaii, was a really good player, but they weren't winning any games, so nobody watched him. So he came with us, played, I think, 6-7 games and got to Canada very quickly. And then, is now with the New York Jets. So the opportunity is there for, like you said, the kids that want it and want to work hard and, still have that passion.
There's been a couple Iowa guys too. Julian Good-Jones kind of had the similar path. Played a little bit in the arena, then with the CFL, and now I think he's with Washington. So he might he's actually on the field tonight. So
yeah.
So you're putting together your team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what are you selling? How do you sell it to the kids? Because obviously there's a level of recruiting that you're doing in this. Because I'm guessing they're probably making more money on their NIL than they're probably going to make in the arena league.
Yeah. In coming to Iowa, previously I was down here in Frisco, Texas, and then last year was in Tulsa. And I think your track record just kind of helps you recruit. I think guys at this level want to be with a coach that they know cares about their development and is going to coach them the right way and push them the right way. I'm really big on helping guys get to the next level. And the next level could be whatever that looks like in their life. Sometimes it's a job, and sometimes it's an outdoor opportunity, right? So it's really just selling them on on what they want, on their dreams, right? Like I can talk about Iowa all day, but it's my first year there, right? So the main things that I can talk about are how I coach, how we plan, how we prepare, and the kind of experience guys are going to have playing for us and playing for our coaching staff. And the right ones will be attracted to the message that you give. Iowa hasn't had a lot of success on the field in the last 4 years, so we're looking to bring in, new guys with a new attitude and kind of change the culture for guys that want to get back outside, that still have a level of hunger and passion, and guys that want to do things the right way and kind of get back out. So on my end right now, it's not so much selling, it's more so telling. This is what we're going to do, and this is where we're going to go. And if that fits you, and if that's something that you want to do, if you want to be a part of a good culture and a good locker room and do things the right way, then this is a place for you to be.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody talks about different coaches and different levels of coaches and how they do this and how they do that. And I coached college football for 10 years.
Yeah.
And when you really just got to put your eyes really on the players. I mean, you're not in it for the wins. You're not in it for, those things. Obviously, that's what you want to have. But really,
Right.
I mean, the greatest joy I get still today is I've probably got 25 players that I communicate with that, I see them having kids or grandbabies now, some of them have, and it's really kind of fun to see that development of those guys and how they've gone on. And when they buy into that and they see that kind of passion from you, I think that's when you'll gather those guys a long way. But you can't fool a kid either. They can tell.
You can't. You can't. And we
awesome.
kind of joke about it now. And you know this from coaching college ball. I coached college football I coached college basketball while I played indoor football.
Mm-hmm.
So I would coach in the fall and then play indoor ball in the spring. And, back then you could use negative recruiting, right?
Sure.
Instead of telling a guy why you were so great, you just hate on all the other schools. Well, that doesn't work anymore because these kids are all friends now with social media.
All right.
So it's more so about them buying into you and them understanding that you're a genuine person that genuinely cares about them. That's changed, right? So I think one thing that definitely helps us and helps our coaching staff is, like you said, you can go online and you could see former players still tagging us in posts. Thanks to Coach Coles and the coaching staff here, they looked out for me and now I have this job, or I got a raise, or I learned how to interview, or I learned how to tie a tie. So having that stuff online helps newer recruits kind of see, like, man, these guys actually do care about you, and they're not just telling you to run through a brick wall, but they do care about you off the field. So I'm sure that's why you were able to coach as long as you were too, because it's genuine and kids can pick up on that now.
Yeah. I mean, I got out of coaching because I felt like I was trying to make decisions a bit about what was best for me. And I'm like, this is wrong. I'm done, and I got out of it. I had to. And what I do today is, I'm in the sales world. I'm selling stuff, and I've got a sales team, and I've learned from my mistakes back at coaching that it's still all about what my guys and gals are doing and out in the street and out there selling, as opposed to what our real goals are. So
that's leadership 101.
Yeah, great lessons learned along the way. So glad to hear that about what you're doing, how you're putting things together. And
yes, sir.
It's all a process,
Absolutely.
You talk about the learning process and things like that. When you look back at growing up in Philadelphia and where you grew up at, what do you think is probably something that helped shaped your mindset or work ethic?
Honestly, it sounds dark to say it this way, but death, so, growing up in the city, you just see a lot of stuff that you shouldn't see. And my brother was killed when I was in 6th grade. And, I kind of saw, if you go that path, it usually ends one or two ways. And, I wanted the work to be different and to get out and to help my family kind of get out. And for me, that was, two things: get the grades. I wasn't the best student, but I knew I had to be good enough to play.
Mm-hmm.
And then, when everybody else was at the mall and, doing stupid stuff, I was that kid that was out back trying to throw a football through a tire. And that was in the inner city, right? So, but I just had really good neighbors and people that saw, like, okay, this kid wants something different. Let's support him. So when I was doing stuff that I wasn't supposed to be doing. You'd have next door neighbors, Dre, go home, or, we're telling your mom or we're telling your coach. So when they say it takes a village, I mean, that's really true. But I think me just seeing really early that I didn't want to go down that other path is what made me work, towards, kind of being different. And not everybody gets that wake up call or kind of understands it. So I thank my mom. She was very, very, hey, you said you want to be great. When's the last time you picked up a football? When's the last time you worked out? When'd you run? So she was really good about, hey, you said this is what you wanted, so I'm going to hold you accountable to that. So she, my mom and, I was just very, very fortunate growing up to be around some people that just believed in me. So,
look, I mean, there's different motivating factors for everybody. I mean, I say all the time that I have a fear of failure. So that's what drives me. You know what I mean? I'm so afraid of failing that I can't physically take a break sometimes, whether it's at my normal job or at this or whatever else. My wife sometimes will be like, well, you're so busy all the time. I feel like I might fall behind and fail if I don't keep moving forward. Right. Whatever. Same thing in 2017 when I went through cancer. It was the same thing. It was like that changed the whole mindset of, not necessarily the circumstances you were in, but, later on I found out the doctor gave me a 5% chance of making it because of the type of cancer I had. So that puts some things in perspective and makes you want to work even harder.
Well, shout out to you for fighting through that. Right. I mean, that's mindset right there too. So I think that's the biggest thing. I think it's just, if you can have an ounce of hope and belief yourself, and true belief, not just saying it, but true belief, I think you can kind of fight through anything. So, I think, and you guys know this just from any sports, it's just like, you have to have that regardless of what you're going through, whether that's business, whether it's sports, whether it's life. I mean, everybody's going to go through something, right? At some point you're going to have to fight in this lifetime. And it's, do you believe that you can win? And I think that's kind of where it starts. And, Philadelphia is a blue collar city. And it's a place that doesn't go for a lack of effort, right? Like, I grew up watching Philadelphia sports and we were not good, but nobody got booed as long as you play hard. So that's just kind of how I, was raised. And, and you kind of said, like, being afraid of failure. I've learned in coaching that sometimes you can feel like it's failure, but it's really progress. And I think the one thing at our league is just kind of identifying, like, hey, we didn't get the result we wanted, but we got better today. And that's a win. So it's finding wins in failure and not just letting yourself kind of get beat down.
Yeah.
100%. That's good stuff to hear. I mean, how's your acclimation into the state of Iowa going right now? And
so I'm still in Texas in the off season down here, but I've been up there a bit, when we had to hire and doing press and everything like that, but it's a great place, man. I've been there so many times as a visiting coach. And, it's one of those buildings that you walk in and you're just like, man, like this place should be rocking. This team should be better. There's no reason that, this shouldn't be one of the premier teams in the league. So when the opportunity popped up, man, I couldn't pass on it. And I had some different offers and some cushier opportunities, if that makes sense. But this was the kind of challenge that I wanted. And even just being in the town for a little bit, everybody's so nice. Everybody says hello, speaks, and why are you here, and supportive, you know what I mean? So that's just a different kind of thing, and, just feeling welcome. So I'm excited to get up there full time. February, March is when we start camp, and just kind of get entrenched.
Making you come back to Iowa in February from Texas. That's
I know.
Serious bullshit is what that is.
I know. Hey, the only thing that's saving me is I'm a Northeast kid. So
there you go. There you go.
Embrace the suck. That's what that's how we kind of lived our life growing up there in Iowa.
That's right.
The suck. I mean, it's going to be there, and then it's going to be nice spring days, and you're not going to beat the people. I mean, I'm telling you, you're going to run into some really, really, really good people up there.
Man, it's awesome. I mean, even just catching an Uber to and from the airport, people were, I saw your announcement online. Here's my phone number. If you ever need a ride, give me a call. And it's just, I thought people in Texas were nice, but Iowa's a different level. So I'm excited, and I'm excited to get in there and get the excitement back about the Barnstormers. I feel really good about where we are with our roster so far, in adding talent. And I think it's something that people are going to be proud of. and kind of like you guys said, give people a reason to get back into the Casey Center and start supporting the team again. So I'm excited to get up there.
Look at that.
Well, of the
He's
tens
so
of
well
listeners
trained at
that we have
Casey
today-
Center. They just changed the name. He's already got it right. Coach, you
Well-
are on point, my friend.
I better get that right considering who our owner is. So
That's right. That's right. Because I'm back here going, oh, no, it's the Wells Fargo Arena. No, it's not. So
those changes happen so often. I mean, it used to be Wells Fargo and Philly, right? So, they change so often, and it helped that when I was there, they were changing all the signage. So
there you go.
Have you been to a Casey's yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So last year when I was in Tulsa, they had a bunch of them, and everybody was
Oh,
always
that's
in.
right. They bought those people.
Yeah, there was a bunch in Tulsa, and everybody was always in line for pizza. So
I used to sell for another company. We sold a lot of packaging, like the salad containers, that the pre-made salads. We sold those to them. We had the sandwich wedges, the hoagie containers. I'm very familiar with Casey's and the Iowa Road Lunch, which is 2 slices of pizza and a Mountain Dew.
That's right. That's exactly right.
That's awesome. You can't beat that.
Yeah, my daughter lives up in Minnesota, and she whenever she gets it for lunch, she'll take a picture of the 2 slices of pizza, and it's the Iowa Road Lunch.
I just learned something. That's awesome.
So, at what point did you transition from playing and think, okay, maybe this coaching thing is where I want to go?
Man, so it was actually involuntary. So I was a part of a team in 2016. We went undefeated, won a championship. And as we're celebrating, the owner got up on the table and he goes, anybody that signs back right now, will give you a signing bonus. So everybody is in there celebrating the championship. We all signed contracts for the next season. And we get back the next season, and I think guys got complacent. Well, we got everybody back. We're just going to walk out and we're going to do what we did last year, but we start out 0-3. And we get back to practice, and I'm fired up, and guys are laughing and kind of joking around, and I lost my marbles. And that's not like me to get out of character like that, but I mean, I was just like, I hate losing. I hate losing more than I like winning. And I lost my marbles in that practice. I took my stuff off, and I'm just like, man, if you guys don't want to be here, I don't want to be here. If you guys don't want to practice and you guys are okay losing 3 games and you think it's just going to happen, then I'm out. So I threw my stuff, threw my helmet, grabbed my bag, and walked out. And I'm driving back home, and I get a phone call from the owner, and I'm thinking I'm cut. And I was like, hey, I know what I did was wrong. I'm sorry. I apologize. And he goes, no, actually, he goes, we were at practice. You guys didn't know we were there, but we wanted to see what was happening. And he goes, we want you to take over the team. So I went from being a starting quarterback on a Tuesday to the head coach on a Wednesday. And kind of had no idea what I was doing, but I knew I wanted to win and kind of leaned into it. And we turned it around that season to make playoffs and just been coaching indoor ball ever since.
So were you a player coach or
That's just what I was going to ask.
No.
How do you turn the reins over to the guy that you had already beat out?
So interestingly enough, that my backup that year was Juice Williams, a kid from Illinois.
Oh, okay.
But he was just learning. He was just learning the indoor game. So it's a big transition hopping from outside to indoor. My entire rookie year, I played, but I mean, I made some bad throws just because it happens like this. Your anticipation's got to be there. You got to throw on time. You got to really know where you're going before you snap the ball. And I worked with him all season. Like, hey man, I'm one play away. You just never know. So we just kind of turned it over to him, and I called the game a little bit differently, used his legs a little bit more. But thankfully, we had a guy that was already in house and kind of just let him rock out.
So on your I've been to a couple games and I've seen a number on TV. Is it like a route tree that you're running? Is it options you're running? Are you reading on the run? I mean, RPOs, all of that? No,
all of it. So we have a route tree, but I played quarterback, and getting these guys used to get to the next level. The chalkboard routes don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And our number one thing is just don't run into coverage. I don't care what I call. We're not going to run into coverage. So we do have some conversions where, if we've got a post from number 2 and you see cover 2, unless we've got a dig on the backside, there's no point in you running into coverage. So you just shut it down.
Right.
and we'll just throw that ball, to you right in the middle. So our offense, you got to be able to process information and kind of see it quicker. I may call the same play 3 times in a row, and it'll look different 3 times in a row based off what coverage we look and what kind of looks we get. The IFL is more truer to outdoor football, so RPO is a big part of it, and it's got to hit 10 times quicker, being inside and having those guys in high motion. So we have a route tree and a base offense, but depending on what kind of look we get, it could look 10 different million ways. So all of that is a part of our game.
So you have a guard, a center, a guard, or tackle, center, tackle, whatever.
Yep.
And then you have like a tight end, or because you got to have what?
No tight end. So in our game, you just take out the tackles and you take out the tight end.
Keith's out. Keith's a big tight end guy. He's already out on this deal.
Yeah, no tight ends in our game. So the IFL kind of opened indoor football up. So I played arena football where you had 3 linemen and then your running back was a 4th O lineman.
Right.
And we're just throwing the ball every down. The IFL kind of opened that up where you have a traditional running back, 1 linebacker, and you can have 4 DBs. So in the AFL, you'd have a jack linebacker that just ran wall to wall and he could go 5 yards, and you just throw over his head every play. So the IFL has a more traditional strong safety that's got to cover and got to be able to play the run and play the pass. And I can't tell you how many of those guys we've had move up outdoor because the NFL and the UFL now is really built on the tweener, right? Can you rush the pass and can you be in coverage? So those kids have a place to play indoor, whereas in arena football, you were too small, too fast to play arena football, where the IFL, you kind of have a home. So,
I mean, you're seeing even in the NFL, the defensive ends are, McDonald. I mean, holy God, the guy, Iowa State guy.
Yeah.
He's undersized 5 years ago.
Yep.
And now he's kind of the prototype. I mean, in some respects.
Everything's transitioned. Your old school safeties are now your linebackers.
Yep.
And your old school linebackers are now your DNs, right? And then your old school DNs are now your interior rushers. So those big kind of, A-gap guys that you should just, stuff the middle are kind of obsolete now. You see those, they're more situational players instead of every down players now. So, the game's changing just because everybody's so fast now. You got to be able to keep up.
So I don't know obviously I don't know the rules basically at all, but is it still the same? You've got, you can only go as wide as the widest in the defensive line, or can you get out in the ghost position or out in that loose 9, or can you do whatever you want to do out there?
You've got to be at least your shoulder, a piece of your shoulder has to mirror. But in our game with having a true run game, and we've got guards pulling and we're running trap and zone blocking, and a lot of our run plays are option, right? So there's times where we'll leave the play side DN unblocked and we'll run a jet sweep his way, but then pull the guard backside and we're reading that front side DN. So you can line up that far if you want to, but we're going to go the other way.
Spread his ass out with your guards. Take a 6-foot split at your guard and see what he does.
Yep. And then the one big difference in our league is that the D line can twist and stunt with the linebacker.
Oh.
So AFL, there's no twisting and stunting. Everybody's got to go north and south. So that's why the indoor football league gets a lot of guys moved up, because you're getting real film of what you can do with twists and stunts. And our guy last year that had a ton of sacks, I mean, we would just pick the nose with the linebacker, and he would kind of just get up and he'd dummy make a move, wait for that linebacker to take a shoulder, and he'd just slide right off. So you can play those type of games in our league. But
so now your basketball coaching's coming out in the football field.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with D-line. I mean, that's all it is now, right? It's just setting picks and being fast enough to get going. So the ball comes out so fast in our game that if you're waiting to get to a second move, I mean, you're probably too late.
Yep.
It's funny that Keith mentioned your basketball prowess comes in and filters in there. You played multiple positions, right, in college. So how does that help you transition to a coach, knowing that you've played so many of those other positions? Does that help you?
Yeah, it definitely helps. It helps me. And what was frustrating in college, it turned out to be a blessing as a coach, right? Because it gives you perspective of everything. And I like to be well-rounded. I mean, I meet so many coaches that only know one thing, where I was kind of blessed. And back then when I graduated, 2006, 2007, you couldn't make money in a sport and still coach that collegiately. So I was forced to coach college basketball because I played arena football. And that helped me because a lot of our pick stuff and, rubs in the red zone, I mean, that's all basketball stuff that I learned, just angles and positioning. And it's definitely helped me as a coach because, I can go down there and work with the O-line. I can go work with receivers, obviously quarterbacks, running backs. I mean, I got to a point at Kutztown where I was just like, I just want to get on the field. I don't want to be a kid that waits until my senior year to start. Just put me somewhere and I'm going to figure it out. And coach was like, all right, you're 6'5", we'll put you somewhere. So it definitely prepared me for the long run, which you don't see when you're 18, 19, but at 42, I'm thankful.
I'll bet.
You're 42.
Yeah.
Holy God, you look like a kid.
Hey,
You are a kid.
I know.
You're not
I'll
old.
take
Like
When he,
Chris.
I knew that he was older than he looked when he mentioned Randall Cunningham. That's
Yeah.
when I knew he was not as young as he looked. So
No, I'm not. I like to carry myself, like I could still
whatever
play.
that fountain of youth is that you got, we need some of that up here in Iowa.
Man, I just get my butt in the gym. I just,
I'm out then. No.
yeah. Well, no, I mean it's scary, man. You start to see so many of your old teammates just, they keep eating like they're playing.
Yeah.
And it catches up to you,
Yeah.
So it's just like, man, I don't, and I'm just big on leadership. And to me, like first rule of leadership is, don't ask somebody else to do something that you're not willing to do. So if I'm asking 40 guys to come into camp in shape and be ready to go, what's that sound like coming from a guy that can't do that for himself? So,
Right.
I just always want to be an example of what I'm yelling at with guys. So I'm going to show up in shape. Y'all better be in shape.
Have you had a chance to meet any of the coaching staffs in the state of Iowa as far as like the different colleges?
We've been reaching out, just trying to reestablish those connections. A good friend of mine, Joe Hadachek, is a coach out there, and
Joe Hadachek and I played high school football against each other.
So that's awesome. So Joe Hadachek's that's my guy. And
Joe played at Dysart Geneseo, and I was at Barnstormer, Iowa.
That's my guy. So he just like, hey, when you get out here, I'll introduce you to everybody. And I know his son's involved, and he's like, whatever you need from me. He's like, if you need me to come hold it, put cones down, I'll come do that too. So I'm going to lean on him for some of those introductions. But we've been reaching out to, the coaching staff at Drake and a lot of those guys. And it's just like, hey, if y'all have guys that are still in the area that are maybe a year or two removed that, still want to play, send them our way, just trying to establish those connections. If you can find guys that are local, it really helps the organization. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're working on it for sure.
And then I've got pretty good connections up at Iowa State with Coach Mouse up there and those guys as well. I know they've got a lot of. You're talking about great high character kids up there. Same with the University of Iowa, Northern Iowa. It's all you got a good nucleus of places to pick from.
Yeah, and it's just been untapped, and I felt like they kind of the vibe that I'm getting is that like previously, they just kind of weren't listened to or weren't given a chance. And I'm like, if you could play ball, like let's go. I don't care.
Look at the Battlehawks. The St. Louis Battlehawks have got what 6 or 7 guys from Iowa schools.
Yeah.
Playing for, it's
if anything, it makes people want to come to the games. If I can go and watch a couple guys that I watched at Iowa State or at Iowa that I loved and I enjoyed playing, now I can go watch them again, especially in that dead period where there's nothing on. You know what I mean? That seems like a no brainer. I mean, the Iowa Wolves do a good job. I mean, they've had Luka Garza on a 2-way contract there for a while. They had Lindell Wigginton for a while who played for Iowa State. I mean, it just seems like a no brainer to me.
Yeah, it matters, but those relationships matter too. Because if those college coaches don't trust you, and they think that you're not going to take care of their kids, I mean, they're not going to send them to you. So we're definitely trying to rebuild those connections and just have a pipeline. I mean, some of the best kids in our league are kids that were D1 walk-ons that can play ball, but you were just behind a second round draft pick. and they come to our league and tear it up, and then they're in Canada making six figures the next year. So it's all about opportunity. So definitely trying to build those relationships and see what we can do there for sure.
One of the guys that used to play for the Iowa Barnstormers was just exactly that for us at Iowa State, a guy by the name of Jeff Dole, who I think he played for the Barnstormers for maybe 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
He lives up in Grundy Center now, and he's in the insurance business, but he was with the Barnstormers for several years, and he started off as a walk-on, and I think did a hell of a job with the Barnstormers. He was a freshman when I was a senior, and then he did a hell of a job. So you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys coming out of that where it's a bump and grind and try to get themselves into a position to play.
Yeah.
Just be the best teammate they can be. I mean, sometimes
that's all it is. That's all it is. I mean, I just signed 3 D1 kids that when you turn on their practice film, it's like, man, but then you look at who they're sitting behind. It's like, okay, like we just picked up a free safety from University of Indiana. Well, they had one of the best defenses in the nation last year. And it's not that this kid couldn't play. He's just sitting behind a kid that got drafted. And we just picked up a wide receiver from the University of Buffalo. Kid he was sitting behind had 60-something catches. And then we got a running back from the University of Hawaii. Kid can play. He's just sitting behind a kid that they got from Oklahoma or something like that. So, there's talent everywhere. It's just, giving these kids a chance. But on their side, they have to still want it too, because we're going to coach you, and we're going to push you. This isn't a place where you can kind of just show up and go through the motion because of where you played. We've had D3 kids outwork kids from Alabama just because they're still hungry and still want it. So there's a mix that you need for sure.
So when you have a kid, you bring a kid in, and he's playing, and I have no idea what kind of income that they earn during that time, and I really don't need to know. But are there job opportunities for them then in the community as well?
Yeah,
is that what goes on as well?
Yeah. So a lot of the guys now, I mean I don't know the exact term for it, but there's so many things that you can do on your own time now that it's really helped out the indoor game. I know last year we had 10, 12 guys that would, leave practice, they'd shower and they go DoorDash or do Instacart or things like that. But we try to have them done by 1 p.m., practice in the morning, get your lift in, film, and then you got your whole afternoon to do whatever you need to do to earn income. So I know a lot of kids on Iowa's team last year were working at Home Depot and Lowe's and places like that kind of worked with them, hours wise and understood who they were. And a lot of the local businesses in town want to hire those guys because they know that they're going to work, they're going to show up, and they've got some kind of a work ethic. So we've been fortunate enough to kind of have some sponsors kind of step in and say, hey, when the guys get here, if anybody needs work, let me know. So if the guys want to make that extra money, they can. And of course, if they want to sit around, I mean, that's easy to do too. So, but yeah, there are opportunities. So no players in our league are getting rich. It's really about an opportunity. And I'm honestly kind of glad it's that way because you should be working to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep. You make them hungry. So
yeah,
we're gonna take a quick break here, get a word from a couple of our sponsors, and when we come back, I want to talk to you about your choosing Iowa, coming to Iowa, and what motivated that. So let's get a word from Revelton Distilling Company and Styled by JJ Boutique, and then we'll be back with Coach Andre Coles of the Iowa Barnstormers.
Making great tasting bourbon requires the perfect combination of ingredients, conditions, and time. The longer it rests, the better it tastes. Revelton Distillery's new single barrel bourbon is made from 80% corn, sourced 100% from Iowa farmers. And unlike mass-produced bourbons, each barrel of Revelton's single barrel bourbon is unique, proofed on when it tastes best. As they like to say, it'll be ready when it's ready. And to ensure the highest standards of quality and flavor, owners Rob and Christy Taylor oversee the production and bottling. Every single barrel. Iowa born, Iowa aged, Iowa bottled. Try the new single barrel bourbon from Iowa's own Revelton Distillery. ReveltonDistillery.com.
Gentlemen, let's be honest. Finding the perfect gift for your wife or girlfriend isn't always easy. You want something thoughtful, stylish, and unique. And that's exactly what you'll find at Styled by JJ Boutique. Julia Bradshaw and her team strive to be your go-to boutique for casual, boho, and chic clothing and accessories, helping women elevate their style one piece at a time. Located right here in Johnston, Iowa, Styled by JJ brings trendy, high-quality fashion that boosts confidence without breaking the bank. So, if you're looking for a gift that says, I get you, instead of I tried, head to Styled by JJ Boutique. Because nothing makes her smile like feeling beautiful. Styled by JJ Boutique, where style meets confidence. Visit our Johnston location or shop online at styledbyjjboutique.com.
All right, and we're back with Coach Andre Coles of the Iowa Barnstormers. I was searching, Keith, for an RV pass for this weekend's game on the Ticket Trader while we were listening to the commercials. So one time I tailgate in the RV Village, I'm spoiled now. I need.
Oh man!
So, Andre,
been up to a game yet? Have you been up to an Iowa State game?
That's just what I was going to ask him.
I have not. I need to. I have not.
Yeah,
it's quite an experience.
It's special. Yeah, it's much better than Kinnick. Sorry,
that's redundant. That's redundant.
I know. So, Coach, you get the opportunity. You get offered this opportunity in Iowa. You said you had coached here before, previously. Where were you coaching before, and what made you say, you know what? Well, let me ask you this: what attracted you to the job, and what did you think you could do here by taking that job?
What attracted me to the job was just the opportunity and just the challenge. I mean, I've been fortunate enough in this league to be a part of some great programs and some winning programs. But, for myself, I wanted the opportunity to take something that's not where it needs to be and change it around, which can be risky for your, coaching career. But I just wanted the challenge. I mean, that attracted me to it. All the resources are there. Everything that you need to win is here. And I kind of just wanted to be the guy to kind of have an opportunity to do something special and not just jump into a place where it's kind of already established and you're just trying to keep the status quo. I wanted to create the status quo. And there's an opportunity to do that here. So that was super attractive to me, was just the challenge. You know what I mean? So might be dumb, but it gets me excited, man. I wake up every day and I'm just looking at, how can I get better? How can I change this thing around? And it's a challenge for me. And it's a challenge for our staff and these players to come in to kind of take a team that's, been struggling and turn it into a winner. So that it just got me fired up thinking about it and blessed to have the opportunity.
I think that there's a lot to that. I mean, there's coaches out there that will always take the next job and the next job because they want the bigger and better thing or whatever. Yep. And then, Keith will attest that you look at somebody like Coach Campbell at Iowa State, who I think has had a lot of opportunities to leave and has decided he'd much rather here and make a mark and make a difference. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of what you're speaking to as well.
He's got a great line. Coach Campbell is, there's coaches that want to be something. There's coaches that want to do something. And I want to do something. That's a great line.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy in our league to kind of, once you have a reputation, I mean, my offenses have always been up there, like tops in the league. And when I was, my first head coaching job in York, we made playoffs every year. The Jacksonville Sharks, we made playoffs. Frisco Fighters, I mean, we always finished number 1 or number 2 in the conference. And then last year, going to Tulsa was a team that never been to the playoffs. So going there, changing that around and getting them to the playoffs for the first time ever. So, that was just attractive to me. And, like you said, do something and be something. I want to do that for Iowa and kind of make this, what it needs to be, kind of get back. You look back at those Kurt Warner days and it was the place to be. Guys were itching to go to Iowa, and I kind of want to create that up there. So, just the opportunity, man. And I know we're going to be successful because we have guys that are bought in and may take a little bit, but maybe not. You never know.
Wife, kids?
No wife, girlfriend who's very supportive. She's got the financial side of it. She's a COO at Northwestern Mutual here. Super supportive, loves football. But all of my family is still back up in Philadelphia. So got a twin sister. She's got 4 kids. So that was the best birth control ever, being a college kid with a sister that's got a kid, so helping her raise hers, I was like, okay, all right, wake up call, right? So, so I was like, I'll be uncle of the year every year, so, I do what I can with them, and, and it's crazy now because the one's 21, the other two in high school, and she's got one that's, going into second grade. So they keep me busy enough. And now they don't want to talk to me. They just want money. So I
So they're just like your kids then.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like it's to the point
like
now
the other kid then.
Yeah. A couple of years ago they call and you're like, oh, you feel important. Now it's like, what do you want?
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So why are you in Texas then? Is it?
It's just where I lived when I was the head coach down in Frisco.
Okay.
And, when I interviewed with Iowa, they were just like, hey, we don't need you to be here all year. We know that you can recruit. We know what you're going to do. And, they just kind of worked it out. They're like, just be up here for the season and, kind of just figure it out from there. So they didn't require me to be there year round. We have a great front office with Julie Pettit.
Yeah, Julie's great.
She's awesome, man. And they've got a full staff up there. When I was in Frisco, I had to do her job plus coach. So it just made sense to be here year round. But when you have a front office that works as hard as they do, I'd just be in their way. We don't do anything until the players show up. So she's like, hey, I trust you to do football and trust us to do our job. So I was like, call me if you guys need something, but I'll stay out of your way. So she's awesome at what she does.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I know Anthony Beck, who's the coach for the St. Louis.
Yep.
He lives in Tampa, but I think their practices are in Dallas or somewhere.
Everybody's in Dallas.
And then they go in to play their games in wherever they're playing their respective games. I mean, that's a unique setup in and of itself.
It's an interesting setup, but what it's done personnel wise is made it make more sense for the league, right? Because what people don't see behind the scenes is how much money a pro team spends for tryouts and bringing guys in and evaluating talent. So when everybody's sitting down there in Arlington, every team's practicing in 3 or 4 places. You want to make a trade, just walk across the street and go see the guy, or if you're looking to do whatever, it's easy to have a guy come to a central location. Like we had players go down and just work out and all 8 teams were there to see the kid versus having to go to 5 and 6 different cities. Now, marketing wise, it's hurt them a little bit in some markets that they had to close down because the guys are only in there for game day. But from a financial standpoint of practice sites, and you're not going to 8 different cities and trying to find a place to practice. You work a deal with 2 places and they just stagger practice time. So they're saving a lot of money on the back end that way.
So your practice, how do you structure that then? Are you inside the Casey's?
When it's available, we'll be in there. But there's a couple deals we have with some indoor facilities where we just practice in there and just do the best that we can do. Literally, any place that has an indoor soccer field is the same dimensions as us. Or if it's our dimensions game day is the same dimensions as a ice hockey rink.
Sure.
So anybody that has that kind of space, we can practice. So we do the best that we can do.
West Des Moines, Westplex, probably the West Des Moines Recplex, maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, Norwalk, a little town I live in just south of Des Moines. They got a Recplex. We'll get you hooked up down here, Coach.
For sure. I mean, get with Julie. I mean, anywhere indoors, we'll make it happen. And sometimes you just got to figure it out. I mean, thankfully our field isn't 100 yards. It's exactly half of an NFL field. So it's not like you need a ton of room. And sometimes practicing in a smaller place makes you better on game day because you get out there and now it feels like, you have all of this space. So we do the best you can do as far as practicing. But, you're inside if you can. And once it gets nicer, spring, summer, you take them outside just to get some fresh air. So.
What the field is half the size and so forth. Those kids that are coming straight from college, what's the biggest adjustment for them with that?
The speed of it. I mean, from a DB standpoint, you go from guarding a guy who's stationary 100% of the game, right? So a DB that's outside, you can scout up a wide receiver's release by which shoulder he advances with or what foot he leads with. In our game, you've got 2 guys in high motion. They're already at full speed.
2 guys.
2 guys in high motion in the indoor football league. Yeah. So, as a DB, you've got to be able to still sit at 6 yards, 6 by 1 yard inside, 6 yards off. And you've got to be able to backpedal, still play your, if we're man to man or if you're in the zone, you still got to be able to get to your spot with a guy that's already full speed. So just the speed of the game. And then from a receiver standpoint, that ball is hot. I mean, everything feels like a hot route. So you got to get where you're going and get your head around. There's not a lot of time to get to a second and third moving your route. You got to get where you're going to get and get your head around and get the ball. D-line's D-line anywhere you play, get off the ball, make a play. O-line, there's just not the space. So if we got a reach block, you better get your butt moving. And if we're doubling to get up to the mic, that double's got to happen quick because that mic can get wall to wall before you blink. So just the speed of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Keith's mind blown when you said 2 guys in motion.
Well,
yeah,
I'm thinking Canadian football at that point in time. I knew Arena had 1.
Arena's got 1. Our game's got 2 because you take out that second linebacker. You got a second DB now.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 guys in motion. If we had 1 with 4 DBs, it'd be so easy to double that 1 guy.
Yeah, right.
And all 3 are stationary. So we have 2 guys in high motion and just keeps the defense honest, gives an offense an opportunity. But it allows you to do a lot in the run game as well, too, because we've got those guys coming down, cracking a linebacker or a lot of pin pull stuff that you can do. And in our game, wide receivers can carry the ball also. So we could send a guy on jet motion and hand the ball off to him, too. So
kicking game, no punting?
No punting. You can kick a field goal if you want. But kicking is huge in our game. You can utilize the squib kick to kind of pin guys deep. And also in our game, we have, what's called the deuce. So off the kickoff, if you have a kicker that can kick the ball through the upright, and that's 2 points. So that's what makes our game exciting. I mean, last year when I was coaching Tulsa, we were playing in Iowa, and we were down 20 points in that final minute. We came back and won by 4. Because we scored 2-point conversion, got a deuce, onside kick. I mean, we made up 20-something points in 3 possessions. So it makes you coach.
You have a drop kick?
You can drop kick. A drop kick on a in play for that's like fourth down would be 4 points instead of 3. And if you drop kick on an extra point, you get 2 instead of 1. So all of that stuff is still valid, and it all plays into the scheme of our game. So you'll see a lot more onside kicks in our game and a lot of trick stuff because in our game, you want the ball last. You don't want to be on defense last. You want the ball last. So I've been in games where there's 40 seconds left and we score. We go out and onside kick because you don't want them to have the ball last. You want the ball last to kind of determine the game. So a little bit of different strategy when you get into the 1 minute of our game.
Chris, I think you got a job there in the IFL as the drop kicker guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. If you can hit it, let's go.
Yeah, okay. I'd have to get off the couch first. You're not going to make me run any wind sprints or anything, are you, Coach? Because I don't run.
Not if you're kicking. We're good.
That's why I played goalie in high school, because I only had like an 18-yard box to have to worry about, and I didn't have to run any laps. I convinced my coach I shouldn't have to run laps if I only have 18 yards I have to cover.
Yeah,
he was so sick of me bitching and moaning about it. I think he was just so.
We tell our guy kick the ball and get out the way. Really,
right? Exactly. All right, we're gonna take another break here, Coach. But we're gonna transition a little bit, have a little fun here. So I'm gonna give you this is what we call the question of the pod. It's sponsored by Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage. So normally I do these philosophical questions like what would you do if you were 10 years old and all that bullshit. But instead, I'm gonna ask you, what's the most tragic Philadelphia sports memory of yours? And what's the most exciting Philadelphia sports memory of yours? So think about the answers. We'll get an answer back after we get a word from Kyle Lehman.
Whether you're buying, selling, or refinancing your home, or if it's simply time to renovate the one you're already living in, you need an experienced mortgage professional to help you analyze your financing options and to make sure the closing goes smoothly. And that's exactly what you get when you call Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage. Kyle's experience and expertise, coupled with Wintrust's rates and programs, ensures you'll get the mortgage that's right for you. You may even qualify for down payment assistance. Before you reach out to a realtor, call Kyle and get pre-qualified, empowering you to start shopping for the home of your dreams. Call Kyle at 515-473-0546. Kyle Lehman Wintrust Mortgage, 515-473-0546.
All right, Coach. Worst, most tragic Philadelphia sports moment of your life, and best.
The most tragic, and I'm showing my age again here, it was probably the death of Jerome Brown. The Eagles were on a roll. I mean, we were kind of the team, and his death kind of just, man, it broke that team apart. And then you kind of see Reggie Wright go to Green Bay, and Andre Waters and those guys all wound up in Arizona. So that kind of killed my childhood right there. It's just a tragic thing in the city, and so I would say that was probably the most tragic, and the best is Eagles winning the Super Bowl last year. So
I'm so glad you didn't say the double doink against Chicago, because that was tragic.
Okay, so do you know why? So that hurt my heart because Matt Nagy's a Philadelphia guy, but he's also an arena quarterback, right? So it was hard for me to talk trash about Matt because he's kind of the success story, right? Yeah. He's kind of the success story. I mean, he was an arena football quarterback and kind of worked his way up, and is an NFL coach, right? So that's the goal for a lot of us. So I didn't want to bash a guy online that I'm trying to follow in his footsteps. But
That's fair. That's fair.
So growing up, I was a Philadelphia 76er fan.
Okay.
I just idolized that whole team. That the Dr. J was the guy, right? Dr. J was Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan.
Yep.
Right? And my big tragic was when they were up 3-1 on the stinking Celtics, and the Celtics came back and won all 3 games. But,
blew it.
Yeah,
Blew it.
And then when the Eagles lost to the Raiders in the Super Bowl in 81, maybe no.
Yeah, it was 80 or 81. Ron Jaworski. Yeah. I wasn't around for that one yet, but heard enough about it growing up.
You weren't even a twinkle in your dad's eye.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. But you hear about those things, and I think that's what's different about Philadelphia. I grew up learning about Flyers players that I never saw. Bernie Perrant and all those guys, just because when you're loved in the city, man, they love you. And I never saw Mike Schmidt play a game, but you grow up learning about them. So Philadelphia, loves its guys, and the Bears have a Philadelphia kid right now, DeAndre Swift. So
he's turning it on.
Yeah, and my buddies in Philly work out at his dad's gym. He's just a regular guy. I mean, we watched him grow up, play high school, and get to Georgia, and but you can kind of see that attitude. Like, he gets knocked down, he's going to get right back up. So
I'm not gonna lie, I was a huge Allen Iverson fan. He's my absolute hands down favorite. The kid was 115 pounds soaking wet and was just a tough nosed player. I absolutely loved him. So
he'd fight everybody. I remember my high school prom was game 1 of the finals with them against the Lakers. We're all in the lobby watching the game, and all the girls are in there mad because we're not dancing. We're like, man, we're watching the Sixers. So.
That's right. All right. Well, we're going to wrap up here, Coach. We've got one final quick segment here. This is a segment that we do to try to help people. That's something we do here at Three Beards Media, is we raise a lot of money as best as we can for charity and things like that. So this segment is actually called the Shut the Fuck Up segment, because it was famously coined because my previous co-host wouldn't shut the fuck up while the guest was trying to get her point across. And we thought it was so funny, we thought we'd turn it into a charity moment.
That's
so
awesome.
We're going to get a word from Steph Copley and ask that we donate to the Young Women's Resource Center to help struggling women get back on their feet and things like that. And then when we come back, Coach, Keith and I have to shut the fuck up, and you can say whatever you want about any subject, and we can't react, and we're not allowed to interrupt you. So let's get a word from Steph Copley on the Young Women's Resource Center.
Hey everybody, it's Steph Copley, the woman behind the STFU segment on the Old Man Strength podcast. When I told the guys I wanted to sponsor this segment, they recommended that I make a charitable donation instead, so that's what I did. I chose the Young Women's Resource Center in Des Moines, Iowa. They're a nonprofit that supports, educates, and advocates for girls and young women ages 10 to 24. Their whole goal is to make sure that these young women become strong, self-confident, and successful. And if you know me at all, that aligns with my goals as well. If you're interested and would like to donate, check them out at ywrc.org and donate today. And remember, don't forget to STFU and listen every once in a while. Thanks.
Great organization, Young Women's Resource Center. So, all right, Coach, we have to shut the fuck up. You can say whatever you want.
Well, first and foremost, I just want to thank you guys for having me on. It's not something that you had to do, so it's a privilege and it's an honor to be on your platform. And if you're watching this and you're not supporting Three Beards Media, you're a loser. And start supporting. What these guys do is awesome. And get your tickets for the Barnstormers. So we need your support. Our team is only as successful as our fans and the community engagement. So if you're seeing this, the tickets are super cheap. It's affordable. Get out there. We need your support. Get to know these guys. You'll love them. We're bringing high character, high energy, and a different leadership into the Barnstormers. So we need your support. So if you see this, get your tickets, show up to the games, come shake my hand, anybody that you can see, and just come be a part of what it is that we're building in Des Moines. So we look forward to your support, and we appreciate everything that you guys can do to support our team.
Iowa Barnstormers season ticket package as low as $128 per seat. That's
affordable.
Crazy. That's
affordable.
Crazy. For 8 games, all same seat, all 8 games, 2 free ticket vouchers to bring guests. That's crazy. So, yeah, that seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Coach, I live out in Indianapolis. I get back to Des Moines every once in a while. Chris has got your information. When I come out, love to grab you lunch with you, take you to lunch. We'll sit down, talk, and hash out a few good stories
Absolutely.
about Bob Plata and Andre Reed.
There's a team down in Fishers also. So
there is.
Yeah, Fishers had a brand new team last year. So if that's closer for you, I think we'll probably play them 2 or 3 times. Fishers Freight is new to the league, but they're down there.
Down in Fishers.
Yep.
Yeah, that's 45 miles away. Fantastic. Yep. So I'll see you there.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Sir.
I'll connect you guys. I'll get your numbers, and I'll pass your numbers to each other if that's all right.
Awesome.
Coach will give you a
Yeah,
number
that'd be
to keep
Yes, sir.
going. And all right, well, this has been another episode of Old Man Strength. Appreciate Coach coming on. Keith, thank you so much. Always appreciate you helping me out. We are live from the AKC Andrew Downs Marketing Studio. We have a big week this week. The guys from Side of the Storm had a huge episode yesterday. Coach, did you know that Brent Curvey did security for the Jersey Shore TV show? I heard this last night. Yes. Brent Curvey, who is he's known as Big Play Curvey, played for the Barnstormers a little bit after his college career, apparently worked in LA and was the Jersey Shore security. I don't know. That just popped out on the podcast last night. So, and then of course we have a live event with Bill and Willie at the Fairway Franks in Norwalk tomorrow night. So with that, we appreciate everybody's efforts, and we are out of here.
Old man strength, built to last. Try to break me, you won't get past. Ain't no quit, ain't no doubt. You don't know tough till you've been worn out. Make it, you'll understand.